steering wheel. Laps the steering wheel, yeah. Give him steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to him. Come on! Whoa!
Your leg, my please. Your leg.
How the f*** is this possible?
I'm driving like a grandma. Get that, Ralph. Did you hear me? From the radio. Ralph, acknowledge. Now, come on, close him down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track. Down that mistake.
I am so annoyed.
Boys and girls, your attention, please.
Hello and welcome back inside the Part for Bay for podcast number 997. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
That's right. You know what we do on race weekends. You know this. You know it to be true.
Watch one, then we talk about it. Then we watch one, then we talk about it. Come on, Todd.
That's exactly what we do.
Stop yelling at Todd.
Stop yelling at me. You know on race reviews we do that. But I know if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, you're thinking, huh?
What does it all mean, Van?
I know. But folks, I got to introduce my co-host. Unfortunately, Paul is at Watkins Glen doing the 6 hours of the Glen. So you're going to be super excited because none other than the lovely, the redoubtable, Grace is standing in. How you doing, Grace?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
You got a lot of the football this week, and you got the F1 talking about the F1.
Yes.
And you got the MotoGP jammed in.
That's right. I referred to this as the Austria weekend because MotoGP was when it was at Aston and Formula One was at Austria, and
yes.
Close to having one in Australia and one in Austria. Austria was about as confusing. I'm like, inevitably that's going to happen that I'm going to say, oh yeah, in Aston, and then somebody's going like, Grace.
It's in
We were in
Austria.
Austria. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Spielberg to be exact.
I'm human. I can't keep these things straight.
It's
So
hard to keep it all. It's all the racing. It's all the racing.
So happy Austria weekend.
Yeah, I did as well. I watched some football.
Yes.
I got the Formula One. All practice sessions qualifying the race. Then I had the from the F1, and then I had the MotoGP.
Right.
And also a massive chunk of the 6 hours at the Glen. Watching Paul's poor Valkyrie run into the back of another car. That was unfortunate. Poor Roman.
Great.
And, so there you go. So it might be best that Paul isn't on this podcast. He'd be in a very sour mood.
He'd be very Charles Leclerc. It would be great.
He would be. Yeah. So it's crazy. Well, let's talk about the race because we did have the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yes.
71 laps of sheer hot condition madness.
For sure.
Insane. And, I was trying to this morning early in the wee hours, I might add you. I was making notes here and I was trying to think, how could you sum up this race in a headline worthy type of thing? And I thought, and I wrote it down and I was thinking really, it's kind of a race of two strategic calls. Red Bull's decision to hold Verstappen out six laps extra in the final stint, and Ferrari's decision to push too hard in the opening phase. I think that just kind of sums it all up.
Yeah. Strategery.
It was strategery. Yeah, it was indeed.
Yeah.
But having done so and left Max out for maybe longer than what he would have wanted, being that he had clawed back George to 1.3 seconds, then they leave him out. And when he comes back out with fresh rubber, he's 10 seconds behind. So that's a lot to claw. But we'll get into that weekend. Right. All right. Let's start off at the very sharp end. Russell, as in George Russell,
Yabba dabba doo, Russell.
Yabba dabba doo, Russell.
Why are you leaning? Before we get anywhere, why is he leaning into that? Like you said it once, just let it go, and we'll pretend like we never heard you say yabba dabba doo. Now it's your thing. Don't make that your thing, my friend. Let it go.
George is such a quirky guy.
Don't lean into that.
He's still doing the arm thing.
I know, right?
He wants a thing, a buzz phrase or a thing, to try to humanize him and make him the kinder, gentler George.
That's not how nicknames work. You people give them to you.
Right.
You can't make them happen. The more you make them happen, the more awkward it is. You know? I had a professor, he wanted to be text so bad. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, there's this professor that I really liked, and he went by Tex, but he wore like a cowboy hat and cowboy boots and was from Texas. I'm like, you're from upstate New York. You're not Tex. Nobody's going to call you Tex, buddy. Yeah. You're not a Tex. You're an upstate New York guy. So you can't. Yabba dabba do. Let it go. Let the arms go. Just awkwardly be yourself, and something will happen. That's how it works. Don't try so hard, man.
I agree. Well,
okay.
He was really good this weekend.
He
really,
did.
From lights to flag. Did a great job. Antonelli kind of had that self-inflicted, difficult opening. What do you do? He ran wide. We'll get in and when I get in Antonelli, but tough entrance to the race there. Definitely a pace advantage over Ferrari. You know, we were thinking on the last race, have Ferrari clawed this in, and then they show up this weekend with an engine upgrade under the A2.
A2?
A2. That sounds like what my dog sounds like when he swallowed something he shouldn't. Out in the yard, eating the grass. How you doing? So
excellent.
It's not pleasant
acronym.
to me.
No.
But they show up this weekend. I'm thinking, as a Ferrari fan, I'm thinking,
that hopium.
Man, this is going to be so good. They showed up with their big engine upgrade, and they get the upgrade, and Red Bull doesn't, and this is going to be great. And Lewis just won last week, and he's going to come in here with a new engine, and it's going to be awesome.
And guess what? There's still Ferrari.
Yeah. There is that.
People, not you in particular, but I just think everybody, Formula One is a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Yeah.
We're only we're only 14, we saw 14 races ago, people.
Yeah, I know, it's a bunch.
Deep breath. I was like, why is everybody so down on Ferrari? Oh, because everybody had these whoa, Ferrari. The hopium was so strong after Spain, and I'm like,
I know.
I know people,
you got the entire Team LH, hashtag Team LH out there, just salivating, waiting this weekend. New engine upgrade. Woohoo. And so the pace advantage was clear. Now, having said that, we've said this a million times, and all of you that have been watching the sport for a while now know, these kinds of pace deltas can sometimes be track specific, so don't throw everything out the window. Don't lose your cool yet, because this is a unique track, very short track. 10 corners, and only 7 of them are real. And if you think about that, if you go back and listen to last year's podcast review of Austria, or even the year before that, or go back and listen to Paul's track talks when he used to do those for us before he got really important, you will hear us say multiple times when we talk about this track, and how Paul said many years ago, as each year we go here, that this track is so short, but that means that there's very, very few opportunity to make up any area. You have to be spot on, and if you aren't, there's not enough to make up the delta. You just lose it, period. Right. And so that's what makes it such a tough track. I think Bernie Collins said that over broadcast this weekend too. So good old Bernie, love Bernie.
I would summarize this as the crab track is not the whale track.
Yeah,
2 different tracks, people.
2 different tracks for sure. And very difficult. Let's jump into George's. Let's talk about Jorge, shall we? P1.
Let's do it.
Lights the flag, led every lap from pole. What a pole position it was, too. That pole position had some
controversy.
It did indeed. I mean, Sky Sports F1 was almost apoplectic. I mean, they were like a Jack Russell jury. They were just on that thing, and they would not let the doubles yellows versus single yellow go. And even when they said, and then finally they shed the data, and Bernie Collins is the one that had it right. Says, okay, well, look, irrespective of the data, if the light shows a single yellow, it is what it is, right? And it wasn't double, and they're going back, and Ant kind of came to the conclusion too. But boy, the rest of them, they were just just augured in on that thing. And even when it was irrefutable, it wasn't double wave, then the whole narrative was, well, it should have been.
Right, but these are two separate stories, right? Like there's the like George was reacting to the rules as they are specified, right?
Yes.
It's fine.
Correct.
That's what now, but then we can all say, well, this rule is bad. That is a separate discussion altogether. And you would hope that, race direction would learn and modify things. That if really the rule should be something different, they should change it. But in the moment, you can't be like, wow, given the circumstance, we've now changed what a single versus a double yellow flag means. Then that's chaos, right?
Right.
He followed the rules and he did it.
Yeah. Pause for a minute and just realize that George is following the American street light acumen. Green means go, red means stop, yellow means go fast.
Right.
So, no, he lifted.
He did. I just think that
all of that leads
George.
back to what an exceptional lap that actually was.
And then he pulled back and he still got pole.
He pulled back
right?
and still got pole.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Very
it was
impressive from George.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, George, you just threw down an incredible lap.
Yeah.
And he should be proud of that. That was a great lap. But anyway, in the race, drove impeccably well, managed the race, managed the tires, most importantly, at a very hot tarmac. 71 laps, built the right gap in the first stint, held it there. Max started reeling him in for sure. Then they pitted him, but they were kind of controlling that, right? And so when you're in the lead and you're controlling and managing the race, you pit on your terms, not the competitor's terms. And he did that, got him back out. It was just kind of smooth sailing from there. Resisted Verstappen's closing charge toward the end. In that final stint, a lot of composure from George, kind of what we saw at the beginning of the season, well composed, George, he moves back to second in the championship. What is he, 40 or so points behind Kimi now? The big question is this a genuine George Russell reset moment? We thought it was going to be 2 races ago, or even Canada, and it wasn't. And then we thought it was last weekend. Is this the George Russell reset? And I quote Toto Wolff, who said, what did Toto say?
Get down.
No, he didn't say that. He said, just drive.
Stop talking on the radio, just drive.
Just drive.
That's all we ever hear him say. I think to answer your question, I'm going to answer your question with a question, which is, who would you rather be, George or Kimi? I think that's the more telling question because, yes, did George have a reset? Yes. But would I rather be George or Kimi? I'd rather be Kimi. So, great, George, that you had this reset, and maybe this will help you in Silverstone and in Hungary before the summer break, because you really do want to end into the summer break on an up. But I'd still rather be Kimi because his issues have been the car's fault, and they fixed that, and ta-da, he's his mistake was, he did make a mistake in the beginning, and he made a mistake in qualifying, right? And then he read the single as a double. But those are teachable. So to me... Yeah,
young guy, second year.
So the statement always is, I always think of Flavio Briatore, but I'm sure lots of people have said this, but it's sort of the I'd rather have a fast, unreliable car because I can make an unreliable car reliable, but I can't make a slow car fast. The same thing is true with a driver, right? I'd rather have a driver who makes mistakes than a slow driver, right? Because I can fix Kimi's mistakes. I can't make him faster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what, when I was talk about, I manage people, and I always say that I'd rather have somebody I got to rein in than somebody I got to kick in the backside.
Correct, right?
And that's what you have with Kimi. Definitely a guy you got to rein in, which is what you want. Because you can do that. And no different from Max Verstappen, had to rein him in. Lewis Hamilton, that first season, had to rein him in a little bit, get him calmed down, and Sebastian Vettel, same thing. So you can see that, and that's very much what Kimi's like. Let's talk about it. He finished P3 though, ran wide at turn 1 and 3 on the opening lap, then did it again on the second lap. Very ragged start. They left him out on a long first stint. That cost him some time, certainly. Maybe you could... it it was tough because there was people kind of throwing different strategies, lots of unknown about the heat of the tarmac and the degradation of the tires. Should we do 3 stoppers? Would it work? Lewis did it last week and it worked a treat. It makes you wonder if they left him out a little long.
Lewis did it this week. Did it help?
Yeah, I mean, what could he have done on fresher rubber at that stage? I don't know, but that's all woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Produced the fastest lap on the closing stages, just 3/10 behind Max there at the close. Really reel him in. That car had the pace for sure. Once he got calmed down, got settled, got some fresh rubber, got the car underneath him, it really came on song. You could tell the pace was certainly there for Kimi, and when the car was in the window for sure. Still leads the championship, like I said, around 40 points. Pretty much kind of a self-inflicted weekend. He had enough points to absorb the margin that he's built earlier in the season. So not all is lost, not the perfect start. And he even kind of admitted that, I was just, that was my fault. I got too anxious.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
He just has to if he continues to finish in the top 5, the world championship will be his. Right? He doesn't have to win every race in order to be the world champion.
No.
So I think that, again, you always want perfection, right? Like, so of course, he's not going to be like, P3, I'm cool with P3. He's not going to say that, right? He wants P1, of course he does. He wouldn't be a Formula 1 driver if he didn't. But this is another thing, like, to me, Formula 1, it's a team sport, right? And so you always have to wear that lens, and that I think that sometimes fans are like, well, that's not how this works, right? Formula 1 is a team sport. And so if I was Mercedes, I'd be pretty thrilled that I have drivers sometimes P1, sometimes P3. That's the dream. If you can get both your drivers in the top 5 and they don't take each other out.
Yep.
Yay, that's the goal, right?
Well, that's what the next team is doing. With Red Bull, you got Max Verstappen P2. Isaac Hadjar has been doing that, Grace, which previous Red Bull drivers were unable to do. So Max is finishing in, top 5, top 6, and Isaac's thereabouts, just a few tenths off, not much, right? So both drivers of Red Bull delivering what they need from both drivers. Of course, you're going to get it from Max. The guy is a generational talent.
Yeah.
But Isaac's delivering too, which is great. Yeah. I think best result in 2026, legitimate statement about their upgrades this weekend. Lots of controversy. Controversy about Max potentially going to McLaren, Grace.
Oh, Jesus.
I love this. This is the new, right? Who's replacing Kimi Räikkönen, right? Ralf Schumacher. Who's on the short list to replace Ralf Schumacher? So he's not going to McLaren. Again, of course, if you're Zach Brown, you kind of want to stoke this a little bit. It only benefits you to keep stoking it.
Of course. Zach knows how to play the head game.
So I remember when he took over for Ron Dennis, and I was like, could you have found a person that is the opposite end of the spectrum for Ron Dennis?
Nice, Ron.
Except in this they're both very, very good at, how to kind of stoke the interest, even though you have no intention of doing this, because I think, you should never pass up an opportunity to have a generational talent like a Max Verstappen.
Right.
You have 2 really good drivers. I'm not sure that, I'd want that. And I'm not sure it's real. But of course, you want to stoke that as much as you can, because that only works to your benefit.
It wouldn't surprise me. All right, we'll talk about it when we get to McLaren.
Okay.
But it wouldn't surprise me, and hold that thought. All right, so let's talk about Red Bull. Anyway, decent weekend.
Yeah.
They got to review kind of the strategy call. I think Laurent Mecchi said that the most satisfying element of the weekend was really the pace. And I think that is important for this weekend, because with the rumors going around and lots of discussion, a lot of times, where there's smoke, there's fire in Formula 1. We know this. And so, the head bosses for Red Bull are there. Important to bring some upgrades to get Red Bull competitive. Max's manager said that he would like to stay at Red Bull, but he wasn't born to run midfield. Hint, hint, nod, nod, wink, wink. So I think in the reality of it, they needed to start showing progress and performance in this weekend.
And I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did too. You got Max finishing P2, started 5th after his qualifying crash when he was trying like hell to get it on pole. Gained positions at the start, great via some assertive passes. Then including that whole yo-yo battle with Hamilton, which was great. That was entertaining to watch. I enjoyed that. Was the fastest car on the track, really, in the middle phase, closing in within a second, or around a second, of George. And then they left him out there, and that did not pay dividends, put him 10 seconds behind. I think they were hoping that they could leave him out a little bit and create a tire delta.
Yeah.
That way, that when he did come out, to have much fresher tires and be able to reel George in. And it just, maybe they left him out 2 or 3 laps too long, or I'm not quite sure, but it just, I think he also said a rear axle issue cost him some pace towards the end of, into the race. So, I don't know, but he's 7th in the championship. Title gap is large, but hey, a car that might be able to challenge for wins at any circuit, that's not so large. That's a surge that Red Bull needed.
And it looked, think of last season. We didn't start talking about Max Verstappen until there were like 3 races to go, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
If I was Red Bull, if I was Max, if I was Isaac Hadjar, I'd feel very positive about this weekend that, what problems the team did have, the team was like, that was on us. And we're going to fix that. You imagine any other team having such a big shunt for Max Verstappen, and then it was like as if nothing happened the next day, right? That takes a level of skill and professionalism, and that you would see that in Red Bull. And so I think it's good. And the fact that you finished P2 and P6 is good. And to me, I think a lot of the things that people said about Ferrari and Mercedes, like, Ferrari's taking it to Mercedes. I think if you took everything people said and just Mad Libs and took out Ferrari and put in Red Bull, they'd be right.
Yeah.
Right? True. I know we all want it to be Ferrari, but Red Bull actually has, the pedigree, the skill to do that in a way that Ferrari isn't always good at doing.
Yeah, and excuse me. You bring up a good point, Grace, about last year. I think can we deduce anything from Red Bull's massive turnaround last season? I know we have short memories, but last year was a Herculean effort by that team. Yeah, they completely overhauled their season and damn near won the championship. Yeah. So could they? I think we'd be silly not to think that Red Bull couldn't turn this season around over summer break. I think that would be foolish of us. So I think you bring up a good point. Let's see. Yeah,
and if you have like one race where George and Kimi both don't finish, like, you know what I mean? Like, if Mercedes holds constant, it's really going to be hard for them not to win the championship, right? But we have 14 more races. There's no guarantees that that's what's going to happen. That's what makes it interesting. So
yeah, right.
I think Red Bull, again, much like I was saying with Kimi Antonelli, of course, Max isn't going to be happy with P2, and Isaac isn't going to be happy with P6. But from a team perspective, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, you brought major upgrades. They worked.
Seemed to work.
Both of everybody seems happy. And it seems to be working. So I'd be pretty buoyant after this weekend if I was.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe they got the strategy a little off, but that happens. Yeah, that's fixable. Isaac, a good result. P6 said Red Bull had the second fastest car in the race. He said the upgrades clearly were working based on what he could feel in the car, which is good news. He started 8th, lost ground early on, fought back through Leclerc, Hamilton, and Norris across the afternoon. Great recovery drive from Isaac, given the challenges of tire degradation, heat, and those kind of things. I think he acquitted himself really well. Mecky's noted that all 4 of the Red Bull Ford powertrains cars finished in the points. A great result for them.
I think if you listen to Isaac's radio, you think he finished P12.
Yeah, right.
And then you look at his results and you're like, well, if that is your unhappiest and you finished P6, what can we do to get you a car so you're happy, right? Like, I just think
try being Fernando.
God.
I think his head would explode if he had to endure a season like Fernando.
I think that would be. I just love
He'd
the way he
lose
like
it.
shows up the interview. He's totally just like,
Yeah.
It's like as if he strolled into like Palm Beach or something. Like, oh, he's always missing like an umbrella drink. Oh, you guys
Yeah.
are here too. How's it going?
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, how's it going?
I
How's the
didn't know
wife
you
and
were going to be
kids?
here.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad you could
Yeah.
come to the race this weekend.
Yeah, so good. So good. All right, let's
So
talk
looking
about
good.
your team.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Nice, Ron.
Yes, McLaren, future home of one Max Verstappen.
Not.
I wouldn't put anything past Zach Brown
I wouldn't either, but why? Why?
because
Why?
I'm not 100% sure that Oscar de la Piastri is happy over there.
Oscar de la Street.
Oscar de la Piastri.
That's good. I like
That's
that.
my new name for him, Oscar de la Piastri.
But where's he going to go? To Red Bull?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He could go to
NASCAR trucks.
Iraq,
Where's he going to go?
Afghanistan. He could go to
I think
go
that's
anywhere.
always the classic problem is that you may be unhappy at McLaren, but where are you going to go?
Well,
Haas?
there's always Haas,
Yes.
Alpine.
Oh, that's great.
Got
Great idea.
Red Bull if Max leaves. Got Racing Bulls. And what's with all this talk about Liam Lawson's days are numbered over at Racing Bulls with this other guy in F2 when I think Liam's having a fantastic year.
We'll get there.
Okay, we'll get there.
I
All right,
think-
back to McLaren.
yeah.
Sorry, I just thought about that. So,
Yeah.
okay, McLaren. Let's talk about McLaren.
Let's do it.
Hey, look, contextually, not the worst of days. All right? I don't want to paint a picture that is terrible.
Especially for a team. Focusing on the team,
Yes,
not
focusing
the
on the
worst
team.
thing. Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Thank you for making that point much better
Not
than I
the
did.
worst.
Contextually, as a team, not the worst.
Right.
Stella was direct about where they're struggling and where they currently stand, not in a position to fight for wins on pure pace, but capable of maximizing what they have through really good tire management. So make notes about that. He was saying, look, not on pure pace, but with what we have, we are maximizing it. Our tire management is very strong and our strategy is good. All right. So
Right.
those are things that you could say are throwaway comments. I don't know that they are, though.
Right.
I don't necessarily think that they are. So we'll make notes, make mental notes. Piastri beating Ferrari. I think that's the bigger story out of the weekend.
Yes.
Right?
Oscar had a great weekend.
Yes, he needed this weekend. He finished P4. He said that the pace was stronger than he expected, and that beating Ferrari was a genuine positive for him. Felt like the team extracted the maximum from the car. He did manage his tires very well in the heat, ran a clean two-stop strategy. Both Ferraris were kind of forced into three stoppers. Stella again described it as fantastic race for Oscar. He moves ahead of Norris in the championship. So he personally needed this weekend.
Yeah.
Paul and I just talked on a previous podcast race review. Oscar's really struggling this year when you juxtapose him with Lando. Lando, both drivers are struggling in this car. But Lando is markedly driving and getting results better. And so I think Oscar really needed this weekend. Great to see him turn it around. Now he's ahead of Lando in the points and to lead that charge again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they did two different strategies. You know what I mean? Again, that's why it's a team, right? Oscar's paying off. I think the other thing that is interesting as we move through these races that is kind of different is now we're facing this idea of upgrades and cost cap and how those two things cross, right?
Yeah.
So McLaren brought a new little flippy wing, and then because they were like, well, it looks good at the factory, they bring it to the track, and the track, they were like, we ain't running this. This little flippy wing ain't doing it for us, right? So I think that in the past, if you did that and you brought something, you're like, this isn't working, you would just bring something new. But because of the cost cap, right, they aren't able to just be like, well, let's try a different flippy wing, right?
Right.
So I think that it really puts a focus on what your correlation is between the factory and what you find on track. And Aston Martin, as previously mentioned, seems to be on the like far end of like, we're putting all of our upgrade eggs into the, Netherlands, into the Zandvoort basket. And it's sort of like if they get to Zandvoort and they still suck, oh boy, it's going to be a problem, right?
Yeah, if they get there.
It's a shit box.
Yeah, they're going to be
Correct.
a problem. Yeah.
And so you see how different teams are, where they're trickling out their upgrades.
Yeah.
How they're, Red Bull tends to be more towards that end, but I just think it's kind of an interesting extra element to this that I hadn't really considered before, of sort of like its strategy. Where do you bring your upgrades? And that for a team like Aston Martin, maybe trickling out your upgrades isn't worth it because, right, who are you trickling your upgrades against? Haas? But if you're McLaren or Ferrari, trickling them is good because you're up against Mercedes. And so maybe that's enough to get you up to Mercedes. Whereas Aston Martin, who are they going to be better than? Cadillac? Congratulations. Their car was on fire. Right? Like
both cars.
Right. I do love that too when they're like, Valtteri, do you see the fire? And we're like, yeah, I see the fire. Like it's on fire.
It. Yes.
It's not hypothetically, maybe it's hot.
Valtteri, can you see the fire? Yes.
I don't know, Shove. Next time I come around, you tell me, is the car on fire? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't see it.
It's on fire. So I think that's sort of how the different, and the other thing is that we know, right? That's been true for a while now, that they have to declare their upgrades, which they always brought upgrades before, but we had to like find out. Now they tell us. Now they have to tell us. And so it makes that strategy more interesting because now we know when they bring them.
They bring them, yeah, exactly.
But there's sort of that cross between the upgrades. So anyway, so long story short, I think that it's interesting that how this is sort of playing out for a team like McLaren that isn't Mercedes, also isn't Aston Martin, but, how they're kind of trying to play this and that it looks like this weekend maybe, I guess not running it was the best decision, but something like a wing can't be cheap, a rear wing. And to have the factory tell you, this is going to be great. And then you get there and you go, this sucks. That can't
It's
that
not
can't
as
be
great as you said. We're missing correlation data.
Right. That can't be good.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, tough week for Lando. Lost track position early on to Max. Didn't really recover from that. Said once you lose that ground, it's hard to make it back up on a short track like that. And he's right. Yeah. They extended the first stint, one of the stint pretty long. I don't, you could argue lost further time there. The pace I think the pace looked better in clean air for sure, but that's kind of been McLaren's hallmark a little bit. They do well in clean air, but it never really fully materialized, if I'm honest. Right. And it's just a tough weekend. He basically acknowledged that McLaren ran no upgrades in Austria. Other teams did, said the gap to the leaders remains, and they need to close the gap ASAP. So there you go. All right. What else do we got? Well, shall we talk about Ferrari?
This is Enzo Ferrari.
Let's talk about Enzo Ferrari.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's a shit box.
Yes.
Oh, poor Team LH. It was a hard weekend.
Team LH. Man, they had so much hope going into this weekend.
I know. It was tough. It was very strong.
Yeah. He's
and it was
back.
As if they've never watched this sport before. That's how I feel about McLaren.
But spare a thought for Team LH, okay? And I'm just going to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I don't mean this to be heavy-handed, but spare a thought for the precious Team LH because they've never been Ferrari fans before. And now they're having to be a Ferrari fan, and they don't understand what the hell's going on.
It's kind of like they always talk about
as a Ferrari fan, I've known this for decades. Welcome aboard.
Right. It's like the McLaren train. Guess what? Who's McLaren's own worst enemy? Themselves. Welcome.
Yes.
So I think it's kind of like they talk about, it's true in every sport, but like when somebody rises to the top level of their sport, that's the first time they've lost. Like for most of these, whether it's basketball or baseball or Formula One, like this is the first time they've actually lost something, right? And so there's some deal with that. And then it's like Ferrari was like, welcome to the, level 12 of how this is going to go for you this season. But
So if you're a Team LH, member out there, I know it's rough, and I know it hurts, and I know it's not fun because your guy, is on it, right? And looked great last week. But
how many championships? I could just see him in the engineering meeting. How many championships do you guys have collectively?
Yeah.
Maybe I have something. Maybe I have some input. Yeah, right. Maybe I know somebody. How much do you have? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
So you got to hang in there, Team LH.
Yes.
You know. And that's what it is to be a Ferrari fan. You live in quiet desperation of hope.
That's right.
All right. A sharp strategic and operational collapse made much harder because it came 1 week after a dominant strategic and operational victory.
The crab track and the whale track are two very different tracks.
Different tracks. Yes. Anyway, tough race weekend.
Yes.
He said they were, Fred said this. He said they were just too focused on Mercedes and lost ground to everybody else, and I could kind of see that. Yeah. The deeper structural concern coming out of the weekend, I think from a development standpoint, I'm a little concerned that they came in with improved shove, but it didn't really seem to manifest itself. Yeah. Even at this track. I'm also a little concerned that their straight line deployment deficit versus Mercedes and Red Bull, that's a little bit of a concern too.
It's pretty bad. Like most of the time when I watch a podcast and they put up the telemetry and they're like, as you can see here, and I'm like, I don't see shit. Right? But like here, you're right, I can see it. And so then I feel like, I'm glad that they finally, after 700 years, have moved to using the ghost car. Like, because then I can see. Yeah, that's good.
The little lines, like on an Excel spreadsheet, I'm like, what?
Yeah, right. I guess that dip is bad. I don't know. But like,
and who the hell's the orange line? But wait, what's the dotted line? What is that?
Right. And so it's like but I can see it when they're like, and here's where you can see that they're losing power at the end of the straights, and you're like, oh, you're right. I can see it. That's not good because I never can see these things that you all are just like, don't you see it? Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Lewis, P5, started third, ran second briefly, lost out to Verstappen in that multi-lap battle that was kind of entertaining. Had to change power unit modes to TS. I was so hoping it was going to be TPS. It's just that we're putting new cover sheets on the TPS reports.
You were in the front. It's the new TPS report.
Because Fred Vasseur should have came over and said to Lewis, did you get the memo?
Oh my. That would be great. I love the idea. First of all, Fred Vasseur, no short shaming here, but I don't know that he's tall enough to see over a cubicle wall. But I will give him that, right? With the coffee mug and the suspenders. I like that.
Lewis, what's happening?
I also like the idea of like Lewis Hamilton just, cleaning a fish in the middle of the office also seems like a fun idea. Wouldn't say I missed it. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, tough weekend.
Charles had for as much as everybody's focused on, Charles Leclerc.
Oh, it was even worse. But well, Lewis, he boxed on lap 13 early, did the 3-stop, didn't work. I kind of think they were throwing everything kitchen sink at him, and I think Fred's right. Probably marking Mercedes when they should have been marking Red Bull and McLaren. But how are they supposed to know? They just won the last race, so who knew? Yeah. Charles Leclerc down in P8, qualified in front row. Finished 8th, said the setup direction worked well over one lap, but definitely not at a long run pace.
That's great.
Yeah. Passed by Antonelli, Hamilton, Hadjar, and Norris.
Everybody.
Said the car was not in the right window and that it was particularly difficult on his side of the garage, which I would say, yeah. He also noted the power deficit as Ferrari did in the straight line with the battle with Red Bull and Mercedes, and that you could visually see that. So anyway, very difficult day for both.
I think Charles Leclerc when he comes into the pit and they're like, we're going to put in -5 clips, and he goes, well, let me know when you want my input. That to me was your whole weekend.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is never, I mean, I've definitely been in meetings where you put out an idea and somebody goes, well, fine then. And you're like, no. Like, I'm not trying to, right? Like, that's the worst. Like, well, let me know when you want my input.
Poor Charles.
Must be the water. Let's add that to the words of wisdom.
Exactly.
Let's add that to the words of wisdom.
I mean, it's going to take him some time to adjust. They've made a lot of changes to his car, the new brakes, but I'm not sure this is really what I expected either from him. So
definitely wasn't what I was expecting. The feel-good story of the weekend, Racing Bulls, Liam Lawson, P9 Arvid. Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
before you move on to Racing Bulls, so I think the question here is, so would you rather be McLaren or Ferrari? If you had to be one of those teams with 14 races to go, whose pit wall would you rather be sitting on? I think that's...
well, I'm a wrong person to ask, as evidenced by the picture behind me. I know,
but I'm trying to. I mean, right? I got a McLaren flag. I'm trying to be just unbiased. You know, like unbiased, where do I want to sit?
Yeah, I think right now, unbiased. I think they're thereabouts, and knowing the history that I know about Ferrari, having been a lifelong fan. Yeah, I think you could make a strong case that McLaren has a pretty good chance of turning this around, and they show good pace, and at even a difficult track like this where Ferrari just didn't have an answer, even with a new power unit, and still beat by McLaren, which brought nothing.
Right.
Yeah, I think you'd rather be in a McLaren shoes right now.
And I say that because I think that much like when we talk about drivers, I'm going to go somewhere else. Well, where are you going? This is the same thing, right?
Yeah,
so I think that, I still would rather be McLaren at this point than Ferrari. But I do. I want to be a part of that hopium. As much as it pains me, I'd love Lewis to do better. I'd love Charles Leclerc to do better.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure that's happening, people. But
it's Ferrari.
But we believe in Fred, right? Like.
Yeah, Fred.
And again, just remember, you're all not Williams, so it's fine.
I know.
It could be worse. All right, now I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready. Racing Bulls.
Yes, the feel-good story of the weekend. Racing Bulls, Liam Lawson, P9 Arvid Lindblad, and P10. Both cars into the championship points. What is that? 2 times, maybe a sprint 3 times. Around that. Don't quote me on that.
This has been their best in years. So
great qualifying pace. Couldn't totally convert that into race pace, but Austria is where they did turn it around.
Right.
And that's kind of what we saw in the beginning. They have a good qualifying, but they just couldn't quite get that in the long run. But Austria, they did. Turned it around. Lawson had that scary, my car's on fire. And I kept looking at the screen, and Sky was looking at the screen, couldn't see any smoke, or it was like, I don't know what he's talking about there.
Down near my feet.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Cadillac situation. No. But anyway, he finished P9, managed, if it was brakes, well, at least he and the team figured out how to manage that brake.
Yeah, just get some more wind on it, right? Like, okay.
Yeah. Lyco.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I always love the responses in those situations.
Just let it
what do you
go,
want me
son.
to do? Yeah.
So he managed the brake temperature, if that's what it was, in the first stint, stayed disciplined through all that, didn't panic, brought it home in P9, said the team made a genuine step forward with the car this weekend, which is great news for him. And Arvid in P10 also struggled with braking a lot in the low speed, very difficult on the hard tire, said that there's some things that he needs to review. The engineers, keep in mind, for his first year, so he's trying to learn maybe why he was struggling that much in braking in the turns on hard tires, and what was he doing and what's the car doing. Said that he's super excited about the British Grand Prix and a home race coming up, which he should be.
Yeah.
So great result for Racing Bulls. Where are they now? They are just a few points away from Alpine, if memory serves correctly. So
that makes sense.
Watch this space. It is Alan Permain versus you know who.
Jesus Christ.
Flavio Briatore.
So I will say that I didn't notice this. I was very pro Racing Bulls. I was like, wow, look at you guys. You really do have a great engine with the Ford engine. Wow. So listening to the race, hat tipped the race, that they noted that there was team orders that Lindblad ignored and made. Because I just stopped paying attention after McLaren. But I thought that was
they were racing each other, and then they boxed.
So
did they switch them during the box?
Yes, because Lindblad was supposed to let Lawson by and didn't, and so then they fixed the glitch, right? They fixed the glitch at the pit stop, but Lindblad ignored the pit, and so when I went back and listened to the radio, you do hear, which is great exchange too, because then Lawson's like, I thought you told me he was going to hold position, and his engineer goes, I'm just telling you what they told me. Right? Which, again, we've also all been in that situation at work too, right? Like, I'm just telling you what they told me.
That's what they told me. I don't know.
I'm just giving you the message.
Don't just relay it. Don't shoot the messenger.
That you were not supposed to, that Lindblad was supposed to hold position. So that was sort of an interesting thing. And I did like that they were like, boy, Alan Permain is just going to knock those heads, and they can't wait. They're like, man, I hope Drive to Survive just ran down there for that engineering meeting, because we'd all love to see Alan Permain that's unacceptable.
First shot across the bow from Arvid, right?
Yeah. And Lawson is for sure.
That'll make Lawson mad.
Oh yeah, and for sure. He's much more in the George Russell camp of nobody believes me, everybody underestimates me, blah, blah, blah. He's, I guess, a chip on his shoulder is what I'm getting. He's got that, and so I could see that, who does this guy think he is? Doesn't he know this is a team sport? Why are we fixing in the pit stop? So I thought that was an interesting extra layer to Racing Bulls that I didn't necessarily pick up on from just watching the race as it unfolded. So
interesting way. Good for Alan for fixing the glitch in a way that was under the radar and not controversial, Yeah,
I mean, and that's something.
Okay, fine. We'll just box him this way and get him out, and we'll swap it ourselves.
And that's sort of how Jonathan Noble and Ed Straw and Val Hershey came down on it. That if you were going to have team issues, you were going to have your drivers have these issues. They still finished 9th and 10th. No harm, no foul, right?
Right.
It's pretty simple. We'll have a sit down. We'll talk about it. It's not like you took them out or you took yourself out in this process. We're just going to have a conversation about how team orders work. And when I tell you hold position, I mean hold position.
Yeah. Or I will make sure I fix it in the pits.
Right. And so that if you were going to have this problem, this was probably the best way to have that problem.
Yeah,
and so I was like, they're just probably not used to this doesn't happen very often to Racing Bull that we know of. So
it's a great course correction to strategy you want if the drivers don't agree. Well done, Alan Permain.
Yeah,
let's see. Audi, Gabriel Bortoleto, P11, Hulkenberg, P12. Both cars finished.
Yay!
For the fourth consecutive. Yeah, I know. I think that's worth an applause.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so that was good because reliability is what they've got to be going after reliability at this point. They need that.
Yeah.
What is that? 3 or 4 race weekends reliable, both finishing very good. Gabby started on the soft tire, bit of a gamble, but he did gain positions early. Passed Gasly, but really couldn't close in on the Racing Bulls. The Racing Bulls just had serious pace. Alpines couldn't catch them. Audis couldn't catch them. They just had a great weekend. Yeah. Said that the package at Audi had worked as expected, but he really wants to close the gap, of course, was what he said.
Sure.
And then Nico Hulkenberg in P12 extended that first stint like a few did, trying to get that tire offset, but when he came out, the traffic he was in sort of negated any hope of that. So it didn't really work for him. But he said the race pace was competitive at times, matching the cars that he was around. And so that was a positive because he started further back. It was always going to be difficult to make up any great ground. But all things said, the other first-year team had dual DNFs. So for Audi to have 3 or 4 reliable races, they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I take that as a victory.
Yeah.
Not a resounding victory, but a victory nonetheless.
I mean, again, in the whole length
context.
of and
Yes.
what is hopefully a long lifetime for Audi to be in this sport finally.
Yeah.
Let's hope they make it a couple seasons now that they got here. This is much like a driver, right? Like this is for a first year team. I'm not mad about this. Even a team as great as Audi is going to have some growing pains getting into the sport. So.
Yeah, for sure.
We're doing it.
Let's see. Let's talk about Alpine.
Jesus Christ.
You got Pierre Gasly, P13, Franco Colapinto, P15. I would say it's hard to look at this weekend and not see it as a genuine setback.
It was for sure.
Yeah, after 4 consecutive Gasly points finishes, this was a tough weekend. Nielsen called it their toughest weekend of the season. He was very direct in his comments about it, said that they lacked pace to compete. Both drivers had a loss of boost in the starts. The team needs to understand quickly whether Austria was a blip or start of a trend. And I think that's the more concerning thing. Is this track specific, or is this now in the heat of the development battle and the teams are bringing significant development upgrades that are leaving them behind and threatening their best of the rest position?
And I'm afraid it's the latter, right?
You got to hope it's not. But with Racing Bulls coming on, they're bringing develops, and it's starting to make me wonder. I would say if you start getting beat by the Racing Bulls in this race weekend, maybe Silverstone in the next. Yeah, I would say they're getting out developed.
And then because to me this seemed much more like, this is where I expect you to be, Alpine, right? Like this is getting closer to my vision for you for the season. So
exactly.
I will say that Gasly had by far one of the saddest radios this weekend after qualifying. And he was like, did we make it? Did we make it? That was a really great lap. Did we make it? And they're like, we did not make it. Oh,
I know.
Oh, Pierre, we love you, right? Like,
He was like, whoa. Why?
I just didn't make it.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sad. I did hear that one. Yeah. He just couldn't find the pace. Finished down P13. The balance of the car was a little bit all over the place over the weekend. Tried different strategic approaches to the race. 3 stops. Maybe some of that's more born out of degradation because it seemed like Alpine's, both he and Franco, really struggled with tires this weekend.
All weekend, yeah.
Yeah, they really did. And it really seemed like the common thread, if I was to pull both of the reviews for them together, would really say that the pace on fresh tires was really strong, but they dropped off it really aggressively.
Right.
And so I think both of them, once they dropped off, because they didn't have a lot of front end and aero downforce, which ends up making it harder for the rear tires, and just couldn't get the balance right. And I think that was kind of their weekend in summation, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, we're down to Haas.
Oh, no, it all went wrong.
Yes. Good old Haas.
It did all go wrong.
It all went wrong. Yeah, I agree. You had Ollie Behrman languishing down in P14. Esteban Ocon, who now is just basically given the middles to everybody that talks about his seat being a threat. And he's getting a little punchy about that.
Well, I mean, rightly so, because it's, and everybody is like, so.
Ocon's out of here.
Do you have a backup plan? Right. Like, nobody wants to be the Joker.
Gonna go racing carts, Esteban?
Right. So, I'm sure he does feel that way. Rightly so.
Yeah, he's not happy about it. But hey, Ayo Komatsu said the team got most out of the car this weekend, but they need to raise the baseline, period.
Yeah.
Car scored at the first 3 rounds. Now it's regularly outside the top 13. Not a great place to be in.
Yeah.
Ali said that he had a poor start. That cost him track position at the outset, so the balance was massively out of the window, and described the result as a surprise, giving the early weekend notification. So he was saying P14 he felt was even better than what they thought they were going to do.
Yeah. I think that, yes, if I was Komatsu, you'd have to feel, because, a certain way because the 3 teams that are below you, Williams, Aston Martin, and Cadillac.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so you're like, of the teams that had any success this weekend, you're last. And that's not great, right? So I think that honest sort of assessment of yourself and what this team is doing. But yeah, Komatsu's going to have to make that call to Gene, and it was not good. No,
it wasn't. That wasn't a good call. No. Gene was like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't blame
for
him.
Sure. Although clearly at your house you have some Behrman fans because they did not enjoy you slandering his name.
Yeah, right.
4-legged Behrman fans. I knew it.
Yes, I do. Yeah, so Esteban, actually had a good start. Looked like he might be clinging on to P10 and maybe possibly, and then everything went out the window. Lack of downforce means the tires are overheated, and he sank backwards after that, sunk like a stone in a couch.
Yep.
He said the team tried everything to address the car's issues over the whole weekend, but the sliding around just continued, and it was very difficult. Very tough weekend for that team. Feel bad for him because I don't know how you claw your way out of that hole.
Did you say sunk like a stone in a couch? Is that I've never that's quite the turn of phrase. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
All right. I love today.
Well, should we talk about Williams?
If we have to, but I mean, like, really, I don't really have like 2 bullet points, which are both that sound.
Hello. Poor Carlos.
Oh my goodness.
He was showing some early signs of competitiveness after they made some setup changes. Then everything ground to a halt. Literally, it sounded like the engine just ground to a halt there. What was that lap? 24.
I don't know, lap 170 because we're at the whale track and like we're like 70 laps into this race.
We're doing 193 laps.
Right.
Yeah, he said the car felt better than in practice during the race after they made those changes, but he was fighting cars he didn't really think he would be fighting, and so that's a positive. But then the power unit gave up. For Albon, he finished 17th after hitting the bollard. He just oh, the hell with that. Just took that sucker right off. Brought out a virtual safety car, which I got dinged for in Fantasy GP.
Oh.
Man, talk about sink like a stone in a couch. I'm just going from bad to worse in my fantasy.
You did not.
I'm not even on the first page anymore.
No.
I'm clinging onto the second page. They may have to make a separate third page just for me. I'm doing so poorly. Right. Anyway, he said the car felt best at this type of circuit in these kind of corners, but he just couldn't really identify why they were lacking so much pace. It's very difficult. I wrote in the race review, this for me is a catalyst moment in year.
Yes.
For young James Vowles.
That is correct.
James Vowles was lured into this team. He reset the expectations for the investors that just for the next 2 seasons, write them off.
Right.
Keeps cashing the checks.
Just keep doing
Keep sending the checks. I will get us off of spreadsheets. We'll invest in tools and we'll invest in upgrades. Just get us off, just right off the 2 years. It's really 2026 that we're gunning for. Those are big changes. We don't care about these next 2 seasons, how we finish. And then he went and told Carlos Sainz the same message. 2026 is our year. Don't worry about it. You're going to come in. It'll be a difficult first year, but don't you worry. 2026, the investors are behind us. Look, I got us off of spreadsheets. We're all using Monday.com now. And so everything is going to be great.
Right.
And it is worse.
No more Mr. Coffee, only fancy espresso from here on out.
It is worse than the year that he told the investors to write off.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a major problem. And I don't know, how long do you have deference for that?
I don't think they do. I just can't. I mean
as a PE-fueled team, how long are they going to have deference?
I mean, the thing that does work on their side is that James Vowles, I think most of us would follow James Vowles to the end of the earth. Like, as a lead lemming, we would all follow him right off the cliff, right?
That's right, James. We're in it together.
But I think, but I think that, like, sometimes I'll watch the Vowles verdicts and I'm like, yeah, that's right, James. I'm like, wait, I watched the race. What are you talking about? Right? Like, so.
That ain't what happened.
Right?
You guys stank.
But he's so charismatic and so convincing, and he has such that like straight engineer delivery that like, yeah, that's right. Let's take it to Mercedes. What are we talking about, man? So
that's right.
I think James Vowles' own James Valley-ness is what works in their favor, because otherwise I think they would have been canned by now. But boy, at some point that's not going to be enough.
I don't think they're going to hang on to Carlos.
Because he will leave, or because they will fire him? Because he'll leave.
I think he'll leave.
Where will he go?
Anywhere.
Back to McLaren. Back to McLaren.
Back to McLaren. There you go.
Carlando, bring him back.
Yeah.
Bring him home.
Yeah, I bet he'd love to go back to Ferrari.
Well, I mean, right. Right. I don't know. That didn't seem great.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially because Ferrari fired him. Whereas McLaren, he walked away from McLaren. So at least that bridge is still there, right? Like, I think. And it may give us another opportunity for Zach to break out as Italian again, right? Because who doesn't want to see Zach's Italian?
Ciao.
That's great.
So anyway, tough weekend for those guys. Cadillac, even rougher, brutal DNF.
Yeah. I mean, it was terrible. They do have the best motor home on the grid. However, that may be the only thing they've got going for them.
Yeah, right. That's pretty tough. Look, they've had brake issues for quite a while now.
It was on.
They're always on fire. And okay, these are really, really smart people.
Yeah.
I mean, really smart people.
That's right.
If the brakes catch fire, they'll know why they're catching on fire.
Right.
And normally you just go and you solve it. They still haven't solved it, which tells me that it's a systemic sort of design element that is not easy to fix. They can't do it.
No, they wouldn't have done it
quickly, or they would have done it already. Right. So they're trying to work within the material constraints of the design of that suspension to keep them cool. It's a difficult challenge. This is how difficult Formula One is when you know, hey, Jim, these brakes keep catching on fire. Yeah, how's that work? Well, they're getting too hot. Oh, okay. Well, we just gotta vent them out. Should we just vent this out? Oh, we can't do that. Well, maybe we could can't do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, so all of a sudden, they can't fix it. That's a problem.
We're just going to give Valtteri one of those like hand fans, like you'd use like in this, like if you're outside right now and he's just going to
reaching
hang
out the car, waving off,
Exactly.
Or just have a can of like a hose of dry ice, blowing ice, just his arm hanging out there, blowing dry ice on both tires, It
doesn't say in the rules you can't do that.
Yeah. Why not? Why not put a little dry ice jets on the wing mirrors that shoots it into the brake ducts?
That's right. Something. I mean, but to have both
it'd be like the old days. And guys, if you're new to Formula One, you're going to have to Google some shit, man. I can't continue taking up all this time. But look up the controversy around Williams and their water-cooled brakes.
Yes.
All right?
They could use some.
Google it, you cheeky bastards. And then you guys will get on and make an influencer video of it. Did you know? You heard it here first. Go look it up.
That's right. That's right.
If that weekend wasn't bad enough, Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Alonso P18, 3 laps down, classified despite finishing 3 laps down. And Lance, I don't give a tinker's damn stroll. Another DNF.
Now he's got the facial hair to go with it. Like, what?
Yes.
He's
lumbersexual. Got that lumberjack thing going.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's his inner Canadian. I don't know, but
he's a millennial, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just
okay. There you go.
He just doesn't care anymore, and that's saying a lot because he's at Aston Martin. So
There you go.
It's not great. Not great
Not
for
great.
Lance. And although his interviews are always, they're always gems because he's always like a despondent teenager.
He is.
And whoever's doing, if it's Barretto or whoever's doing the interview on the other side is like, they're trying to like, hey, they're trying to hype him up, right? Like, oh, tell us how your week was going, right? Because that's what the media does, right? And they're trying to, and he's just like, yep, I was there.
Yep.
My dad made me go. Do you like my beard? Okay, I'm going to go now.
Dad made me get on the bus. Dad will totally ream me if I don't go in and drive the car.
Yeah. Where Alonso just looks like, with his towel and he's just like in his sunglasses, like he looks like he's just strolling in from the pool. Like he just needs, an umbrella drink and he'd be fine.
Alonso's like, I so don't need you guys.
Right.
All right. So I would love, Lawrence going in, throwing his weight around. You got 15 minutes and all that kind of stuff. That's one thing. I don't think any of that crap flies with Fernando.
No, and the thing is, though, is that every team, I think we all remember when he was teammates with Ocon. He was big on Ocon. I love this guy. You fight like a lion. And then
he did that with
wasn't.
Lance.
Right. And then he wasn't. And so that's the thing we're waiting for. Again, I think we're going to get all the upgrade eggs or in the Zandvoort basket. And when Zandvoort doesn't play out, we're going to see that Alonso very quick, that he's going to go from the light to the dark. Yeah. And he's just going to be like, I hate all of you people. Yeah. And that'll be it. Because right now he's still playing we're working on it. We're just gathering data. And I know we're not really doing anything, but we're getting some information. Our upgrades are coming. You just wait. Well, when they don't come and it sucks, oh boy.
Yeah, he'll be like.
That's right. That is right.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's do some awards.
All right.
That's what we do on a race review podcast. The first award we always give out is Move of the Race.
Seriously, Todd?
Yeah, seriously. That's what we give out. All right, Grace. Who was your move of the race?
My move on the race was anything that involved LH and Max Verstappen. All of it.
Yeah,
I think we just need the two of them all the time. It was great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I had moved the race, Verstappen hunting his way back up through the field, and then that battle with Lewis. So that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, so I think we'll just have the two of them. We should just start them next to each other every race for the rest of the season.
I still say they show up on a weekend instead of the sprints. They have a 2x2 competition in carts. Put them in equal carts, and they go, and the winner of that two goes to the final round. Winner of that two goes to the final round. Winner of that two, and then the final race. And they're all in equal carts. That would be fun to watch.
That would be fun. So those two.
Yep. That's mine too.
Had to be the move of the race.
All right. Then the next award, clearly, it's not good to say, and I'm not happy about it.
Okay.
But there is donkeys of the race.
That's right.
Who is your donkey?
Williams. All of it. I give all of it to Williams. Everything you did. The fact that Alex had to run an old monocoque and it still didn't work because his new one wasn't ready. And then you
believe James Vowles and his James Valleyness.
Exactly. And then you had Sainz, my boy, and he's got a DNF with electrical issues. I'm over it, Williams. Get it together. What is this, James?
I know. And then you got Carlos saying, wait a minute, James came and he spun a web of lies.
We had a meal together. What are you talking about?
And now 2 years down and I'm going,
hey, what happened?
He's like, I don't even know what hit me. I got vowed. I think that's a verb now. I think I think everybody's got vowed.
Hoodwinked. Yes, we all got vowed. Yes. And I do want to give an honorable mention to the weather. All of it, everywhere. I don't care where you live right now. This whole world just seems to be under a heat dome, and it's hot, and I'm tired of it, and it's just getting hotter. So the weather, all of you.
It is warm here. It was 95, I think.
Yeah, Fahrenheit. We're supposed to be in 110 for the 4th of July. That's great. We're going to have everybody and their grandmother outside on the mall watching fireworks, and it's going to be 110 degrees. And I just want to tell you people all right now, in case you're not familiar with the weather in D.C., when the sun goes down, it's going to be a balmy 109. It is not going to get cooler. It's still going to be
and the humidity doesn't go away with the sun.
Not at all. Yeah. So having the fireworks at 10:30 at night, may make it cooler, but not really. It's still going to be pretty darn hot. So the weather, you also get a notion of Donkey of the Race because I'm done with it.
All right. Then the final.
Wait, what was your...
Oh, do you want to know mine?
Yeah, what was your donkey?
Oh, Red Bull's lap 44 strategy call.
Okay, very good.
Keeping him out too long. Yep, sorry.
No,
all right.
I got it.
Drive. Yay! Driver of the race!
You like my pace? You like it?
Hell yeah, I like it.
That's right.
That's right, Perez. I like your pace. I love how fast you went back to the pit lane to retire the car. That was awesome.
Have some Kit Kats, I hope.
Yes.
Like, I hope there was some bonus for you this weekend because it's not.
And I know you were going in and you're like, oh, there's some smoke in the cockpit. But hey,
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
It's brakes. It's brakes.
But again, I do love that Bottas was very calm about it. Like me, I'm like, it's happening.
I know.
Right? Like that's
like,
fire.
I'm on fire. Very calm.
Can you see it? Yes, I can see it. Oh my God! Get out of the car! It's
but
on
that's
fire.
how a character in an Wes Anderson movie would react to that. Because he is. He's like living. He is the embodiment of a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, it's just on fire. It's fine. We're good.
So who'd you have? Drive?
I agree. That's right. Drive of the race.
Drive of the race. You picked George too?
No, I really picked I agree. That is literally what I wrote in my notes.
Oh, you did? Oh, I agree. Yeah, MotoGP. Yeah, he won his first race. That's
pretty big deal, folks.
Yeah.
Right. Won his first race. 1-2 for Trackhouse, the American team. Although I will say I don't like that they're yellow now. It used to just be Rossi's team that was yellow. Now Trackhouse is also yellow. Again, we're going back to this. Everybody needs just one color. There's way too much Ross Brawn GP going on in MotoGP right now.
Yeah,
nobody else gets to be yellow. But yes, first win. Aprilia 1-2-3. Bez not so great, but Aprilia looking pretty strong. So I was all for that. And in case people are like, I know Greece is into MotoGP, I also think that we can't walk away from this without talking about the drones, which I also enjoyed. We all know I enjoyed them at Monaco. I enjoyed them as well here. I think we should have more. I get it. It's a little rough. There was maybe a little too much. They're a little too
the whole time I'm like,
they're a little too aggressive. I get it. But give it some time. I think that they will work it out. They're rookies.
Yeah, I mean they're cornering but I felt like I was like in the I was kind of like okay,
but I believe in you drone operators.
Well, they just need to get a gimbal mount on that camera to keep it straight. We
can solve this problem, but I think that it's going to give us turns and perspectives that you can't get unless you're at the track. And so
I agree.
I support you. I support your drones also for Drive of the Race.
I mean, the drone could just be right there and just literally right there with Max and follow Max right into the tire barrier. The drone could just go right in there.
But I think that it has such great potential, and I'm glad. Yeah. I mean, because they all have the helicopter, and so you kind of get that from the helicopter, but the helicopter can't get as close or as precise as you can with the drones. So
no, I agree. And sorry for the visual for YouTube, but when I was watching, it was constantly tilting my head because it was angling, and
it is.
And you're like flopping to the left, flopping to the right, and it's just what you do.
I believe in them. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out how to make it work. But
I think so. Yeah, they'll figure it out. I picked George to drive the race.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, I think it was good. All right.
Wait, before we go.
Yes.
However, I would also, I know that nobody asked for this, but I don't care. You have me on the show. I'm going to add what I feel should be another award if you and Paul ever needed another award. And I think you should have the Fernando Alonso Radio of the Race. Somebody who really has the snarky potential of the no more radio or leave the space or GP2 engine. So I think that, there's some potential because there's some really great snarky commentary that comes mostly from Colapinto and from Nico Hülkenberg. And so if you really just want to watch, the two of them were really eloquent this weekend. And I will also say that we watch using an application called Multiviewer. So you can watch your dots and your telemetry and you can watch everything all at one time, which is how I prefer to watch it, the more screens possible. And if we have a 90-inch TV, what better than, I'm now watching the race on a 30-inch TV because I want all my screens. But anyway, They also feature an AI radio, like they do a radio, but it's it's through AI, right? So sometimes it's completely wrong, which is also then funny because you're pretty sure nobody said that, but that's great. And you also don't know if it is the engineer speaking to the driver or the driver speaking to the engineer. Like, it doesn't give you that context. It just says Calapinto and some words. And but I think there's some great potential here. There were some great Alonso radio moments happening. And while my favorite was most likely an AI mistranslation because it had Oscar saying Captain Bortoletto, I'm pretty sure he was saying that I'm catching Bortoletto, which makes much more sense. But I like the idea of Oscar Piastri being like, Captain Bortoletto!
Captain Bortoletto. Never give up. Never surrender.
That's right. Captain Bortoletto. So if you guys ever need another, or maybe we should wait until after Alonso retires.
Yeah.
In 20 years when that happens. But I think there's a lot of potential here that you could have some great radio commentary in the style of Alonso.
I like it. I do like it. All right.
Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for this race review. It's what we think about that race. You let us know what you think about this race, and you can do that by going to theparkformay.com. A huge thank you to our Patreon supporters. We could not and would not do this podcast if it wasn't for our supporters on Patreon and elsewhere on PayPal and those kind of things. A huge thank you to all of you that support us because we just couldn't do this without you. So appreciate it. If you like the podcast, give us a good rating on your favorite podcast player. And if you watch us on YouTube, maybe think about maybe hitting the like and the subscribe and the bell. Do what you're supposed to do on the YouTube thing. And maybe you could think about doing that, and maybe you could share it or those kind of things. So that would be great. And then we will be back next week.
You have Silverstone next week.
Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And boy, is Paul going to be up for that.
He better be.
He's going to be up for the British Grand Prix. And then we have Spa, our 1,000th episode coming up.
Yeah, that's right.
Soon. So anyway, all right. Well, until next week when we come back and do it all over again, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long, Grace.
See you in 2 weeks.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
I don't feel I got to prove at all. I don't really want to prove anything. I started as an amateur.